scrapbookers and creative friends. I'm Linda Petuch, Creative Memories Independent Advisor in Jupiter, Florida. Welcome to Thursday Thoughts. Today, I thought I would spend a little time talking to you about the way I organize my scrapbooking room. I'm very lucky. I feel very fortunate to have an actual room where I can store my supplies. I know that's not always the case, and we'll talk about that too. I will say I had to make some notes today to make sure I don't forget to tell you anything. I'm going to show you a little tour of how I've stored some of the things that I have. But before we get into a tour of my room and my storage, I just wanted to talk to you about something. My friend Ellen, who has been a friend for a long time, we've scrapbooked together for years, we taught together. When she watches my videos, she always gives me, not always, but she often will offer advice, which I love. Anybody who has ideas, things that you'd like me to do, just bring on those comments. I love it. So what she was saying was she liked my 12 by 12 album, fast album formula and so forth. But she said, you know what would have been good was to show people, because it was her house I went to work on that album. And when I walked in the room, my friends were there and they said, do you need help bringing things in? I said, this is it. This is what I have, this one bag. They couldn't believe that. I worked the entire day. I completed that album. The only thing I had left to do, because we stopped and took a lunch break, the only thing I had left to do was that I had to finish about half of the pages. I added embellishments. But other than that, in that one scrapbooking day with my friends, yakking the whole time, I was able to complete an entire album layout using that fast album formula. But it was just a great feeling of accomplishment and very little to pack. I know it's hard. It was very hard for me scrapbooking away from my stash, something that I'm learning, and I want to share what I've learned with you. So when I went away last June with friends. We drove to North Carolina and we went to a 3-day scrapbooking event, and I was in a mild panic because I don't scrapbook away from home very much. But I'll tell you what I did, and I highly recommend this if you are going to a retreat or a multiple day scrapbooking event. I did a power layout, and it was my puppies and pocket pets. You've probably or may have seen the video. You can check it out if you want, but I did a power layout for that. So when I went to North Carolina, I had a couple of bags, but that's not bad for a 3-day retreat. I had, of course, my album and the pages. I had the page protectors, which I didn't even use. I don't even know why I brought them, because I was basically getting the pages set up. But I had the album and the pages. I already had my power layout box where I had already decided what photographs, what paper, most of the embellishments and so forth, laid out and stacked in the power layout. You can check out that video if you're not sure about a power layout. Highly recommend. Of course, I took tape runners and refills, foam tape and that kind of thing. My 12-inch trimmer and my personal trimmer in case I wanted to trim down photos. I probably had a few extra photos with me, so I had my trimmer, my personal trimmer, in case I wanted to cut down those photos a little bit, corner around them. I don't leave home or anywhere else without that multi-purpose tool and the lifter stick. Those are great, helpful tools. I did pop in like one power sort or power project folder. I put the extra, it was the theme I was using was the puppies and pocket pets. So I had Fetch or one of those collections for pets. So I had that with me. But truly, I fit everything in 2 bags. I could walk in with 2 bags into this 3-day crop. And not only, I think it's not only is this good, if you want to take more things, of course, do you. But for me, it gets too distracting. So I was much more comfortable just taking those 2 bags, focusing on what I wanted to do. And truly, those 3 days, I completed that entire album. The only thing I had left to do when I got home, I did some journaling, but we had so many guinea pigs and things, I had to consult with my children to see if they could remember which animal, which guinea pig was which in case I forgot. But 3 days, 1 album completed. Pretty good. So that's the power layout. So I highly recommend that for a multiple day crop. But this, if you are thinking about the fast album formula, that 12 by 12, I highly recommend that for a 1 day or even a 2 day crop, because it did take me like a day and a half, because then I finished the embellishments. But it's a great way to pack and organize, because it's all about organizing. Now, many of you, we're all kind of kindred spirits, so I know many of you probably feel like I do, that you really enjoy organizing. Now, the thing about organizing, it is very fluid. It changes according to what supplies you have, what space you have, what new storage materials Creative Memory comes up with, because I am very careful. I do not store my photos in anything that is not photo safe. Some of the papers I think are okay, because hopefully that's short term. We're going to be using all those papers, but you do have to be a little flexible, because it's going to change. I will say though, where's my number one tip? I have, four major tips. Number one, at home, how much space do you have? That's going to help determine how you're going to organize. Number one, how much space? Number two, can my supplies be left out, or do I have to clean up every time we need the dining room table or whatever space it is that we're using? That's going to determine also how you organize your supplies. Number three, really important, you need to make your scrapbooking items and materials as easily accessible as possible, because if you don't, you're not going to use them. I promise you won't use them, because out of sight, out of mind. Ellen and I were talking about that yesterday. Out of sight, out of mind. And it's true. You forget what you have sometimes, especially if you are like me and you want everything. Yeah, you forget what you have. So have them as accessible as possible. And number four, you might think, like if let's say you scrapbook on the dining room table, and that's maybe not the most practical thing to do, consider maybe a folding table. I don't know if you can see my folding table back here. I love that folding table. It can fit behind my door here in my scrapbooking room, or you can put it in the garage or closet or something. So think of that maybe as your workspace. If you have that table and either a large mat or the Creative Memories mats, you're ready to go, and it's kind of like you can scrapbook on the go in your own house. So those are some of the tips that I wanted to give you. And now I want to kind of share with you, I'll give you a little tour of my room, and then also I'm going to get up close and personal and show you how I have organized some of my supplies. And it's making me pretty happy. It may change, but in the interim, I'll show you what I've done. Let's get started. All right, let's get started. So that's my doors closed. You see, I am crazy about the moon, so I have lunar things. But because I'm doing this, my room is set up not only as a scrapbooker, but as a scrapbook advisor. I started just to do it for myself, but my friends who I've scrapbooked with for years convinced me that we should have our crops again, and I just adore it. So I am set up as an advisor and also as a scrapbooker. So those bags that are on the wall over there, those are prizes and supplies and so forth that I have for my scrapbookers. And then I have my personal punches, and then I also have things that are for sale, and the way I differentiate now, I allow or permit or encourage my scrapbookers to use my punches that I have out, because to me that's one of the advantages of going to someone's crop, is that you can use some of the supplies that you may not have, and I have some that aren't currently available, and they're very careful and gentle, and they've never abused it, and I just love that they can do that. So my punches are stored in those are shelving that I got from Stamp and Storage. They make specifically Creative Memories storage bins. These are for the standalone punches, the border punches and so forth. And then this is for the, they have carousels now, but I don't have a big space. I had needed flat space. So there are for the border maker cartridges, and then there are for some more of the I have most of my frame punches there. I just love punches so much that I cannot resist. So that's how I do my punches. I was lucky that these built-ins were here already when we moved to this house. So I was able to put my albums there, and I did label my albums with my label maker. Like I use blue when I do my punches, and I use white for my album titles so that I help me remember. And you might see some with a pink dot on it. If they have a pink dot, those are albums that are fast to fab. And I have a little sign there. I don't know if you can see it there. Products that are for sale, that whole shelf I put a green dot. So if you're an advisor, that might help you to organize it. So so that my friends know when they come in, if they see green dot, like those punches that are in the center there, you see green dots there, they can, those are for sale as well. I don't know, let me go back over here before we keep going. Those drawers that are there, those I purchased from Michael's. You see green dots on there too, because I have overflow punches that are for sale in there as well, and some of my own. All right, now let me just keep going. There's a little shelf that has the smaller punches there. That's called a Tiffany shelf. I found that because it had my, I had some of those little ones that I had kind of an overflow, and they fit better there. You can see I have my mats ready. This is where I punch. I punch in that corner. I can make the lights brighter, and that's great. That's where I videotape, and that's also where I do my punches. It's a nice firm surface, and I can easily grab my punches and punch there. Also my personal trimmer, the new one, and the 12-inch trimmer. There's a second 12-inch trimmer, and personal trimmers and so forth there. My decorative trimmer, all there available. On those shelves with the 8x8 and the 8 and the 6x10 happy albums, I also have card kits, and have a couple of samples of ways to use the 8x8 and the 6x7. That's why those are sitting in the front. Okay, moving on. Oh, let me not pass here. See that rolled up floor? That's my tab floor. That's the other reason I don't have a big desk in my office, because on Tuesday nights I do a Zoom tap class. So that's my bamboo roll-up tap floor that I unroll so that I can tap dance. And that red bag is not my tap shoes. That's a hummingbird helmet from my Eric and Rasa, who gave me that for Christmas, and I'm hoping to attract hummingbirds to my face. Moving on. So these shelves, I'm sure you've heard about them. They're from IKEA, and those are the Calyx shelves, which you can buy from Stamp & Storage. You can buy those inserts for the paper right there. You can also buy the dividers. I think the dividers and the drawers came actually from IKEA, but I know that those paper dividers came for the Calyx unit, but from Stamp & Storage. So you're able to use every inch of the space here. You can see up on top, I use baskets to put some of my bundles. You'll see a lot of the binders there, because I use those a lot, and I'll talk about that as well. Some pods on the way. You see I have a lot of fast formula album refills. Those are there, and I have them with a pink dot on them. All of these pods that are in here, these are materials that are for sale for my customers. And also, I have to tell you, if you are thinking about becoming an advisor for yourself, it is a thing of joy when I think, oh, tape runner's out. I just go over to the drawer, and I open the drawer, and I take out some more tape runner. It's fabulous. So it's a great way to support your habit as well, just saying. Okay, so let me just keep going around. So over here, these are my own personal scrapbooking. I'm going to move this a little bit. Don't get seasick. These are my own personal supplies that I have for scrapbooking down here. I have in those pods, I have them divided by season or holiday and so forth. I have my pre-punch shapes that when I'm punching and I have extra, I organize them. I'm going to show you those two bins. I think they sell them for photographs, but they're not photo safe, so I use them for punches instead, and I'll show you that. A lot of my organizing is right here, because this camera is on my desk, and this way I can turn around and get whatever I need. I'm going to keep going over here. My little comfy pink chair. The reason I took the doors off this closet is because I'm going to try not to talk, you probably won't hear me. Those are my supplies, my albums and so forth, but check out the right side. So these are supplies for my scrapbookers on my cropping days. They can come in here and they can just help themselves. There's storage bins down there and so forth. I have some of the older, we'll say vintage creative memories. Things are up near the top shelf. These are really what we use more, are the items that are down here. And then we're almost back to the door, and here in this shelf, all those sort and stash binders, those and the ones that you saw in another area of the room, those all have pre-made pages and borders. P.S. I sell them on my website, so you might want to visit my website. Anyway, I think that's all the way around the room. So what I want to do now is I am going to get some of my special organizing containers, and I'm going to show you how I use those. All right, there's the tour. So let's start with the noisiest one, and that is the custom cutting system. But I love the way I have it. This sits on the calic shelf right behind my working table that I just showed you where all my personal stuff is. And what I did, it'd be lovely if I could have these all spread out or even in a binder, but this works best for me. I can turn around, grab them. So I've taken these big rings and I've hooked together the custom cutting system sets that go together. The ovals and circles I use primarily the most, but all the others are available here if I want to do something different. The jumbo ones fit here. The templates fit in here. The mat, the 13 by 13 mat that I just keep with this doesn't fit in here, but I put it right behind it on the shelf, and behind that I put my Cricut mats. So they all sit right together on that shelf. If you don't use this, I have two sets, so I have a bag for one set, and I have this little case for the other set of blades, and then the other thing I pop on here is my little circle cutter, and that way I have it all together. Very convenient. I think I also have, I have the tearing tool here, that tearing ruler. I have that in here, but everything that I would want to manipulate the paper in a different way, I have in this particular container, very handy right behind me. The next thing I want to talk about are these wonderful Creative Memories containers. I think they might have been designed for storing photographs, but I love them for other tools. So when you can buy this entire case, and it comes with these 6 little containers that would hold 5x7 photos. But you can see I use them for different things. I can't even tell you how many times I dip into this with the foam squares and the tape chips, but you can put all of these other items that you would use, and if you're going to be scrapbooking away from home, you don't have to take this whole bin. Just take the things that you think you're going to use, like the foam squares go with me, the tape chips and adhesive dots might go with me, but mostly the foam squares go. And that way you have them all in this, and it's actually more economical to buy this case plus, and then you get these 6. If you buy them individually, I believe they're in sets of 2, it's a little more cost prohibitive than just buying the entire thing. And then you've got this wonderful storage, which, yes, I use these like this. In my work-based space behind my desk, I have some that are not in a bin that I can just grab for labeling products and so forth. But let me show you how else I use this great bin. I love it. So as I said, my organization goes through a state of flux depending on what we have, and I started putting fill and file sleeves and some other little plastic storage containers in my Power Project folders. I think I have one to show you. I do. Okay, so this is my Christmas one that I took when I was doing that Christmas fast formula, and so you see in here I do have the fill and file sleeves, which if you are going away from home, that's a good thing to have them in here. And I had also some of these little plastic, I don't know, maybe I got rid of them from here. So here's another fill and file. Oh yeah, this one. Okay, so I have these as well, but I am transitioning away from these, and I'm going to put them in a bin that I'm about to show you. This is good, but you know what happens? They fall out of here. It was okay for the day because I could take them with me. My mats, I have everything here, extra paper and so forth. But let me show you how I'm storing these now. I haven't switched these out, but I'll show you what I'm doing. So I've done this for all the different seasons of the year and for different occasions. This is just Christmas and fall. So what I've done, these I believe are for die cuts or something like that. They're for die cuts. So they come, these are too tall in here. They come with these little labels that you can write whatever it is that you want. But you see, I've categorized, I have all my Christmas jewels and so forth, Christmas plants, Santa, North Pole. You're able to categorize. So I could take this whole bin with me if I'm working on a theme, or I could just pull out these individual these individual little containers. If you saw my album, you saw that I did use these, so I did have these with me. But I think it's a great way. This was an old CM thing. I had washi tape in here because it was a little bit thick to put into these sleeves, but they fit so nicely in here. Some of these punches from that pumpkin patch punch, and to me they're very organized. And what I like about this is that you're thinking thematic or seasonally, and your embellishments, especially all these little fidgety fiddly ones, they're all self-contained, they're protected, they're easy to grab because I have these bins right behind my desk as well. So this has worked really, really well for me. And I got these online on Amazon or something. I could put the link, I'll try to put the link in my description because these are really, really great. Now, don't store photos in them. They're not photo safe, but it's great for your embellishments. Let me show you the next thing now. So because my space is limited for cardstock, when Creative Memories offered these, what do they call them? Paper file mate. When they offered these, I thought, oh, I'm going to use that for some of the white core double-sided cardstock is that specialty cardstock. I didn't want to put it on the shelves with the others, and also the cosmic colors. So what I did was I used this. Ooh, it's awkward on the camera. I use this, and I've labeled my colors in here, and now they're beautifully stored, and they're separated from the others because they are different. They're different from the rest of the line of the shimmer and regular cardstock. So I used it for that. Whoops. Then I got to thinking. I had, when I was going through my embellishments that were in with my different themes and so forth, I thought, some of those beautiful laser cut pages and mats, I'm not using them because I don't see them easily. I'm not digging through everything all the time. So this is what I've done. So now what I've done is I have put them, I labeled these by season, by size, like oaks and trees and sunflowers and so forth. So now when I am working on albums that are the subject matter or the season, I can just go in here and I can pull out these beautiful laser cut pages because, you know, if you're matting photos, they've done beautiful work for you. You just pop a couple of photos there. So I decided I'm really, really happy with this. So that's this is the paper file mate. I think it's $20 for that. Love it. Really helps. Okay, I don't know if you've seen this before. This little one, what is this little one called? But I first started using this when I went on that trip to North Carolina because I thought, okay, let me see the colors I have and so forth. So I went through and I started organizing. I think this is supposed to be for stickers, but I have a lot of the older stickers that are bigger pages, like they're like 12 by 12. So I couldn't really put those ABC stickers in there. So I decided I would divide it up. So I have some of my sticker strips, like a totally tonal, or like these were left over from I don't remember. Some of these were National Scrapbook Day, spring collections, and so forth. But this is a really great thing when I needed this. And look, some of these are really old stickers. But when I need a certain color pattern, this is a great way for me to just pop in here and see what I can find that'll go on my pages. I'm really happy with that as well. Okay, this is one of the display totes, the pod totes that Creative Memories has, and I decided I wanted to put my recipe templates in here. So I have all my recipe templates are in here, and I have it out for my customers to use as well when they're here for cropping. But in here I have them all alphabetized. That, to me, that was the easiest way to do it. I alphabetized them, and then if I had notes, I wanted to put notes on them. I have notes about changing the angle direction, squares, triangle, wedges, and so forth. I have all of those in here, in addition to some older templates and so forth that we had, I don't know, years ago. Ooh, I have some more pages here I could use. Oh, the borders and cards, because that's a different size and so forth. But this is a really great way to store them. They're all handy. And I do have each one. What I do is each one, I put it in this, this is a sleeve for vinyl records. Lauren Hines showed me the first time I saw it was with her. So I can label them, put this little sticky label, Avery label on there, and that way I can have them all really handy. I can see what I'm looking at and so forth. This has worked really well for recipe templates. Now I'm crazy for all these rainbow pods that we have. This is a littler pod, and I decided I wanted to separate my pens because I was starting to collect so many, and it just takes too long to dig through. So I have my general pens here. I just popped this in here. This was that special edition we had at springtime. I usually have a black pen here because you can take, if you're going somewhere you're going to be using these colors, you can just take your basic black and brown and take these wonderful pens. I think these are still available. I know I have I have one on my website, but these are great. So then I have the regular pens here. Some of these old ones still work. If y'all have remember these, they still work. So, and they have to be stored horizontally. So this is the best way to store your pens. And then these are my dot pens. So I have my dot pens here and my dual tip pens here and some of my fine point pens. This little bin, and then in here I separated, these are some of those new metallic, and then these are my shimmer, or maybe that's shimmer and this is metallic. In any case, they're separated because they are different from these and I don't want to dig through them all. So I use that. So these are the little pods, which are just great. These bigger pods, they created for cards. I love this. I use this one for my card class, but I have my trio card kits. I think I have 2 of those containers because I have so many now I had to divide them. But it is a lovely way. I have pre-made cards and then I have card kits in these bins. It's really great if you're looking for a card either to make or to give someone. If you have them organized like this, it's going to save you so much time. So I highly encourage you to get one of the card pods. That's been a great help. Let's see what's next. Okay, I'm going to end with these sort and stash binders. I use these for samples of my punches, but today I'm just going to show you, I'm going to show you that punches another time how I do that, but for today I just want to show you. So I have, some binders are for borders, and we have these wonderful sort and or fill and file sleeves that are different sizes, so you can see them easily you can pull out what you need. So I have these, I have lots of them because, oh, you know me, making pages and borders, I'm just so happy when I'm doing that. And I do have them on my website. I sell them on my website, so I need to make sure I have them easily to access, but it's also been great for me. I'm making an album and I'm thinking, ooh, I need a page. I remember I made that page with this and such. I just go into the binder and then I can reach right in and get what I need. And then I am happy because it's all organized. This obviously is my fall, and these are the full size, the 12 by 12, the single pocket. But they do have a variety of different pockets. And now we have the thicker binder, which I've had to order a couple of those because I'm like a whirling dervish. I just can't stop making pages. So, I'm out of control, but I'm happy. So isn't that what counts? If we're happy, I'll see, I need a bigger binder. Yeah, the thicker binder, this doesn't happen, but I don't have that for this yet. I just added a bunch of pages here. In any case, I hope that these, I don't know, I'm hoping that it was a way for you to see some of the ways to do that. Well, thank you so much for coming on my organizational tour of my scrapbooking room. As I said, I'm very fortunate that I have a space I can keep set up. Wasn't always like that. I had to transition it a bit, and I do have to move my table for my tab class. So, sometimes, you have to do what you have to do. I hope it gave you some ideas, though. Remember, when you're going to organize, you do have to make kind of a mess before you can get it all organized because you have to pull things out. So don't be discouraged by that. Take it slowly. Maybe just do one thing at a time. Organize either your papers or your stickers or something. Don't overwhelm yourself. And if you think of any other ideas, I would love if you would share that with me. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. I will put some links on there for some of the other videos that I talked about, and also for some of the storage materials. Thank you so much for staying with me. I know this was a long one today. Until next time, get organized. Happy scrapbooking.